All right, so I told you guys in the last video that I wanted to talk about some of the downsides to Navy Federal because we have so many people coming on here and telling you, "Hey, you can get a car for 20,000, you can get a car for 10,000, you can do this, you can do that." But what happens when you take that card and you obtain consumer debt, or you take that card and you try to make an investment and it fails, or something doesn't work out? What do you do in those instances? What can you do when you've made your mistakes? All right. And how can you rectify those mistakes? Luckily, if you're a Navy Federal member and you've made this mistake with Navy Federal, they're a very understanding institution and they have a lot of ways that you can rectify these problems. But I want to kind of help you navigate through this process so that as we are going through this journey and you're navigating through this process, you can kind of figure out what is it that you need to do to take yourself to the next level. So let's start out. The first thing that you really need to do, all right, is evaluate your situation. So you want to look at your financial situation so that you can understand where it was that you went wrong or took too much risk, or what it was that you did that caused you to be in a situation where not only have you, used up a large amount of your credit, but you're also having troubles with paying it back. You want to do that first and foremost in any situation because you want to have financial awareness and be able to take accountability for whatever action that you've done. Now, the next thing that you want to do is start to create a plan on how you're going to rectify the situation. Now, when you're starting to create that plan, that's when these next steps really start to kick in and you really have to take advantage of them. So, the first thing that you really want to do in this list of steps to create your plan to get out of this situation is communicate. All right. You have to communicate with the bank. All right. You have to communicate with the financial institution, the credit union, whoever it is. Now, of course, in this situation, we're using things that are specific to Navy Federal, and I know work with Navy Federal. So when you're communicating, you have to know the right things to say and the right things to ask for. Maybe that is an extension, maybe that is a deferment. Um, Maybe you're asking for an interest rate decrease so that you can drop the amount that you're going to pay over an extended period of time. Maybe you're asking for a credit limit increase because in getting that credit limit increase, it's going to allow you to free up a little bit more space and be able to have a little bit more of a security net while you're working through this process. But for the most part, for the people I'm talking to in this video, you've already gone into collections. You are already in collections with Navy Federal and you're trying to figure out what you need to do. So step one, of course, like I said, plan to communicate. Communicate. This is the first step in that planning process. The second is create a plan to pay back the bank. So you want to figure out how you're going to pay them back and how you're going to pay them back as quickly as possible. Reason being, once you go into collections with Navy Federal, they close your account out. You can petition to have your account reopened within 30 days. However, for the majority of people, if you've gone into collections, you're not going to be able to pay that card off in the next 30 days to open that same card back up. But the bank or Navy Federal may see fit to open your account back up if you've had a good prior outstanding, um, line of payment history with them. Now, in addition to creating plans to pay, the next thing you want to do is make sure that you pay those plans appropriately. So when you're talking to them, if they say, "Hey, can you afford to pay, $200 a month instead of $300 a month?" If you can't afford that, be honest. Talk to them and say, "Hey, listen, I can afford 150 or I can afford this or that," and see what they will work with you through. Because I've seen them defer out payments and I've seen them just as well as adjust payments down to allow people an opportunity to be able to make those payments. I've seen Navy Federal remove late charges. I've seen them do many different things to help their members in these collection situations. So communicate, plans to pay those plans appropriately. Now the next thing, Navy Federal sometimes will offer you a settlement. Um, However, you do not really want to take a settlement with Navy Federal. You really do want to pay them back in full. And the reason being with this, if you take the settlement, yes, it will allow you to, settle off that account. However, what it will not allow you to do is open future accounts with Navy Federal. So, granted that we all know how big of a benefit that they can be in your wallet, and we all know what opportunities and options are offered with having Navy Federal membership, I personally would recommend not taking a settlement and actually paying off your debt. It'll also teach you some more financial responsibility and just things of that nature. So personally, I would not recommend settling with them. It is an option, and if it is more feasible for you financially, you know, and then it may be something that you want to do. But really, like I said, because they're such a valuable institution, personally, if it were me, I would be trying to pay them back in full so that I would be able to open up another credit account with them. Because once you have an account with them and it goes into collections and you don't pay that account off, they will no longer allow you to open up accounts with them. And lastly, the other thing that I would be doing while I'm paying off this debt and I have these accounts in collection is establishing or reestablishing my credit with other institutions. So, how does that look? Um, because Navy Federal has internal collections, even once your account goes to collections, it's still reporting every month whether or not you're paying them or not. So, if you start paying them again and you're paying them consistently, it will start building your credit score back up. Now, while it's doing that and building your credit score back up, you have the opportunity to, you know, go to another bank that you already have a relationship with, or, go into an entry level bank, a store card or something like that, and continue building credit. So by the time that you've fully repaired your credit and you've gotten everything ready and replenished, you can say, okay, I'm going to go back to Navy Federal, but now I've got all this time frame where I've paid them back the money that I owed them, as well as I can show them that I've been working with other banks and paying them appropriately. And that's going to allow you to get back in easier and get back to those higher card limits when you can show them that responsibility. So, as always, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.